So you can see in the description on where to get the Dwarf Fortress Lazy Noob Pack. It's really simple. You could just extract it to a folder and then start it. The community has done a great work for this. This makes it very much easier because you don't have to download any other expansions or tools or whatever. This makes your life much easier. You can just download it, extract it, and start it. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to double click on the Lazy New Pack. I'm not going to cover all these options right here, but I've preset them to a very noob-friendly setting right now. For this video, I'm going to turn off invaders. Even if you just start the game and you do it for the first time, enable your invaders. Enable the invaders. Don't make the game too easy for you because the invaders are actually what's fun about Dwarf Fortress. Although the word fun has another meaning in Dwarf Fortress than in other games, but we will get to that later. So just for this game, I've switched off invaders. Turn this on when you are playing Dwarf Fortress. It's a lot of fun. It's absolutely necessary to do that, and yeah, you will have a hell of a time, to say the least. Okay. I have invaders to know, liquid deaths to know. You don't need to know what it is actually. Cave-ins is no as well. Exotic animals no, and aquifers no. This makes it very easy to start and to show you the game without putting a shame to myself because I suck at the game. All right. So what I also wanted to show you about the Lazy Noob Pack real quick is that you have graphics set here. Some people say that you have to play the game in the default ASCII mode and all that shit. I personally think that's bullshit. That's just some romantic chit chat to make a point that you're strong and whatever skilled and that you can read the fucking signs like in the Matrix, Neo, and all that. But no, no, I'm just joking. No offense. Some people just prefer that. And then there's the Iron Hand, Mayday, and Phoebus tile set, which all of them three are really good. They convert the game into really a playable graphical experience, so you really see what you actually have, like wood looks like wood, and all that stuff. If you're interested to see how the game looks in ASCII, do that on Google. It looks really ugly, and I would not play it if it would stay like this. All right, and then there are some more utilities. They're completely all in these package. They're really great. They're really easy to use. I'm going to cover them later. There are 3D. There's a 3D isometric view from above to your fort and all this stuff. Like, and most of it is just made from the community that does really great work, and it just looks fucking awesome. All right, whatever. Enough of the jerking off. I just start away and click on Play Dwarf Fortress. There it is. You see, it's a resource-intensive game. All right, so this is the first screen that you see when you start up Dwarf Fortress, except for the option continue playing, because I have already worlds in there. So I could just continue playing my other games. It's basically loading a game, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What you want to do is you want to create a new world first. In order to create a new world, we have to go through a few screens, and then you get another option, which is called Start Playing. But you need, before you can start playing, you need a new world. All right, so go to create new world, hit enter. Don't read the screen with the obsolete information, and then you can leave everything that is here. Is absolutely okay. You can leave it. I'm going to change this to short, so it's not going to take that long, but don't even bother about it. If you don't know shit about the game, everything I tell you right now will go in one ear and go out the other ear anyway, because you will never use it until you get smacked. All right? So, okay. Just press Y to go ahead. The reason why I'm saying these keys is the game is not very consistent in its user interface, so it's not always Y to go further and all that. So that's why I'm just telling you the keys to go ahead in the game and to proceed and to do some actions. Okay, what I'm going to show you in this tutorial is I'm going to show you how to gather resources and how to dig in your mountain to set up your first basic fort. And for that, you need to create a world first. And the problem with that is you don't really understand what you need in the world, and you don't really know where to embark because you don't know shit about what you need, right? Because you haven't played the game. But to play the game, you need to create a world. So that's a little bit of a problem, but it can be easily avoided with my super guidance, and I'm not going to leave you alone on that. Okay, so the world has been created. You should see a screen like this. You can move around with your keys. Like if you just press the arrow keys like this, it's gonna move very slow, right? So if you hit Shift, you can always move much faster. I think it's like, I don't know, 10, 12 tiles, I don't know. But this lets you move around a lot faster. Okay, so what I can do here is just hit enter and accept. So hit enter to embark and to get started. Right now you have just created the world. I'm not going to go into what it just says now on the screen. It's just mostly boring chit chat that is not really relevant for you right now. And all right, here we are. We are back at the screen, and you should now have an option start playing because we just created a new world, and this world is empty. We haven't had a fort in there or anything. All right, we just hit start. We take the region before. It should be region 1 for you, and I just mark it, and then I can choose what I want to do. I can play either Dwarf Fortress, Adventurer, or Legends. I'm going to cover Dwarf Fortress because I don't have a shit clue about Adventurer and Legends. What I know though is Dwarf Fortress is basically the main game mode of Dwarf Fortress. It's about you managing 7 dwarves that are in a fortress and how to manage them, right? Adventurer is you are a single dwarf and you can kick some elven ass and whatever, just explore the whole world, whatever. Legends is you can explore the history of the world that has been created, because what's very special about the game is that it's not going to drop you on the start of the world, it's going to drop you in a world that has already evolved certain years. In this case, 125 years, and that's very interesting because there's already civilizations that had a war with each other, and so forth. All right, you're gonna select Dwarf Fortress for now, hit enter, and then just wait. Okay, that happens sometimes depending on the speed of your machine. If the game hangs, don't close it. It's gonna take like 3-5 seconds most of the time, and then it's just gonna come back up. All right, so here we are. What do we see? Actually, a lot of bullshit that you don't understand. That's right. There's the local bullshit, the region bullshit, and the world bullshit on the top left. You see that. To understand this, you have to see first on the top left there is a very much zoomed in version of the blinking X that we see in the region window. The region window itself is a much zoomed in version of the world on the top right. Okay, and the description where it says right now the purple horns are actually it's actually a summary of what you have in your local window selected right now for your embark screen. I'm going to cover that in a second, but I think every douchebag should have right now understood what I meant with zoomed in, zoomed out, and super zoomed out, right? Okay, so what you can do right now is you can move around with your arrow keys, and I want you to watch right now the region window. Okay, so if I move around more to the right, you see in the world window now that every 5th step or so the X is moving to the right as well. That's because it's a zoomed in version, as I said already. So I'm basically moving with my arrow keys in the region window. It took me a long time to get that. I know, I'm a dumbass and everything, but I really didn't understand which window is now moving with what and what. Okay, so what I can do now is I can, as before, I can hit Shift and then just go down faster. That's going to make the world window adjust faster as well. All right, so what I'm what I'm about to do here right now is I want to find an embark zone that is okay for my first fort, because I'm going to get my ass kicked after a couple of hours anyway, and I don't need to have everything. So I don't need to understand all these symbols that are right there. And to do that, you want to press F for find desired location first. Okay, we're going to do that right now. You should see this, and while you're not really understanding it, you don't have to, but I ask you to select here aquifer to no. You can do that by just hitting the arrow keys to the left and right. We want a river, so put that to yes. We want shallow metal, yes. We want deep metal, yes. And we want, what do we want? Nothing else, I think, right? Okay, this is basically a filter, and what it does right now is if I hit enter, which I'm doing right now, it's going to search the whole world for these conditions, and every zone that is containing or matching these conditions is marked with a green X, and every other is marked with a red X, of course. So you see the world window is filling up, the region window is filling up as well soon. Should be in a second. There we go. And we just wait until it has filtered all these regions. You see it is searching 31 tiles of 81. It's almost done. All right. Afterwards, we are going to look for a region inside of these green X's that we can use. And we're not going to take a perfect location, because you can waste a lot of minutes in here to just find a good, suitable location. But right now it doesn't really matter, because, as I said, you're going to have a lot of fun very soon. While I have time, I want to explain the word fun to you. In the Lazy New Pack, there is a tab links, and you might want to go to the DF wiki and just look up the word fun. It means something special in Dwarf Fortress, and I'm not going to spoil it for you right now. Okay, so we see all these green blinking bullshits, and I'm going to take my yellow bullshit and just wander around the world a little bit. Now wait, I have to do escape to browse the results first. I'm sorry. So if you see it like this, you can browse around. All right. So to a spot where there are not too many weapons lying around, you see them here, these brownish weapons. I'm not really interested in that. So I'm just going to go into this wood with this N or the hills or whatever. And what we are doing right now is, okay, I'm over this green X where everything is blinking and making me crazy, and now I can move the local area. The local area is moved with the keys UMKH. You see that on the bottom, UMKH. It's absolutely annoying at first, but you get used to it, believe me. Don't use your arrow keys right now. I know you will, but just try not to use them. It's because it's going to move your whole window, your region window again. But right now you just want to move in the local window. So we want to preferably find a area with a river. So this area has a river, and it has also other stuff. You can see that on the right that the temperature is temperate. The trees are woodland. That's okay, because we need a lot of wood. The other vegetation is moderate. The surroundings are calm. That means there's not going to be much animals that are gonna bug us and other bullshit. Whatever. Okay. So when you're scrolling, or when you're just wandering around here a little bit, you see that the information on the right is sometimes changing. Like here, you see it here that there is shallow metal here, but there's no shallow metal here. Okay. So it's going to show you what is down there. Normally in some regions you don't find, like for instance, iron and flukestone in the same place, but you need that stuff to make steel or other stuff. So you will have a hard time to find all the stuff in one region that you are going to embark to. It is possible though, but it's way too complicated to explain that right now. So we're just going to look for a region where it has clay, very deep soil, and deep metal or shallow metal. It doesn't really matter. And make sure that you are embarking somewhere like here. You see it on the left in the local screen. Make sure that there is a river. Uh, Not just like this, because it's going to be too small, but make sure there is a river. We need this river for the water and for other stuff. And yeah, something like this, for instance. It doesn't really matter. Then you can hit E for embark and just take the lazy noob pack preparation stuff, because you can actually choose now, after embarking on this map, to prepare for the journey carefully. Then you have to skill your people. You can tell them what they have to bring for the journey and everything. I thought that was way too much information on other tutorials. I don't want to know that right now. I just want to get started in the game, and then I start to know and I start to feel what I want to use for the next time, and what I want to use in a different manner than right now. Okay. So you're just going to go down to Lazy New Pack. You're going to hit Enter, and then comes the screen with the embarking. You don't understand a lot of this. You don't have to. That's perfectly fine. All you just got to know is that we have 7 peasants on the top left, and their talents are shown on the right. All right. There are a lot of talents. It's useless to go through all of them. You see, there's a lot of stuff to be seen and to be explored in the game. All right. Okay, we're just gonna hit E for embark right now, and we should be safe with the Lazy New Pack preparations. And I just pressed E. I'm gonna wait, and then it's gonna spit us out somewhere in this region where we have been. Okay, there's some more text that we're not gonna read. I hit enter, and this is the screen that I'm being presented right now. The first thing that you see is here on the left, there is my screen for playing. Here is the super duper interface, which is which is very time intensive to get used to. And then here we have the region map. We don't need this for most of the time. So you can just switch it off by hitting tab. If you hit tab, you can go through different presets of just the gaming area, just the region and the gaming area, and region interface and the gaming area. But right now what you need is, you need this, you need the interface, and you need the gaming area. Because you can play like this, but you need to know the shortcuts for everything. I can play like this now, which is really cool. I never thought it would happen, because it's a lot of short keys and a lot of stuff to getting used to. But once you do it over and over, you get used to it, and you get pretty fast with these short keys. Although they're very clumsy and very hard to learn at the start, I strongly suggest you do it that way. Well, you don't have a choice anyway, so who am I to fuck you, right? All right. Okay, so what we see right now is we're going to go here. Okay, and then we can scroll out. That works, actually, to a suitable level of zooming out, whatever you want, whatever fits you most or best. And I'm going to show you now what you see right here. So you see the game from up top. I think that's the easy part to get. What you see here is we have trees, we have our dwarfs here, we have a cart that we started with. That's actually our first cart that we came with, which has all the goods in there, like the food, the ale, the booze, everything. And there are plants to harvest here. There's a badger here that wants to. He's just pissed that some people are just embarking in his whatever realm or whatever it is. And we can move around here by pressing the arrow keys, and you see that some of the area is just covered in dark. Now the smart people around you will say, oh yeah, right, that's the fog of war. No, it isn't, smart ass. It is just you are just too far up to see it down there, and we can go there right now. And it's not the fog of war. No, it's not. Okay, so you see that there is those triangles that are pointing down. That indicates that right after this, or actually in this, the grassland in this case is going down. There's a slope right down. So this is on a lower level than this, and on the contrary, here we see how the stuff is going up. All right. So right here we see the inside of a mountain. Right now, if we just walk past here, which we can't, but if we could, if it would be a ghost or something, you would be in the mountain right now. All right, but if you want to go a level upwards and you see on what level you are here, which is level 0 right now, you can use Shift 5. I know it's weird, don't ask. It's just Shift 5, and then the game switches to above level 1. You see it on the top right here. Okay, and you see that the view has just switched. All right, the level that we've just been before is just a little bit grayed out, and the slopes are pointing down now. Okay, I'm going down a level with Control 5, and I'm going up again with Shift 5. Sorry, down with Control 5, up with Shift 5. These are the keys that we are going to use the most right now, so get used to them. There are 3 keys that are absolutely vital to move around in this. It's Shift 5 for getting up. You see, I can go up even more levels, or Control 5 to go down. Okay, then the next key that you want to use is space. Space is going to resume your game or pause it. All right, here the game is running. I hit space, it pauses. You see that on the right here. That's pause, and you can do 1 step. And then another key is K. K is also very important, because if you press K right now, you see that your tiny little X is coming again from the embark screen. It followed you around here, and what you can do with it is you can just move up above something, like for instance this water buffalo, and you see on the top right what it is. It's going to show you it's dense drop seed grass, and above it is a stray water buffalo cow, which is tame. Okay, or we could just go over the stray mule, which is tame as well. It's dense hair grass, whatever. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we want to get our dwarfs to do something, right? We could either make them do some funny shit like killing people. No, we can't. Or we just build a dwarf fortress. I suggest that we do the latter. And what we're doing right now is we have to order our dwarfs around. We cannot control them directly, okay? Except for squads and military people, you can order and boss them around in a pretty good manner, but just normally you just assign zones to them. You can tell them what they should do, but you cannot order them directly to do it. So right now what we are doing is we are going 1 level down here to you see that above is our cart. And then I'm going down 1 level. I'm -1 now. That's red 1. Okay, I'm -1 now. And then we are going to hit P for stockpiles, which is here, P. You're always going to need P for any stockpile that you want to build. We're going to set a area for the dwarfs to store all the wood that they're going to get, because we need a lot of wood right now. We want to set up our fort, and wood is the way to go. So I just hit P again, P, and then hit W for wood, and now my cursor is here again. Hello cursor, and I want to select an area for the dwarfs to store all the wood they will chop, and the wood that they have brought with them. All right, so if I just hit enter once and then move with my arrows, you see a blinking tile here. Okay, wherever I press enter again, it will create a square or rectangle up to that X again. So this is the area where they will store the wood. Okay. So right now there is the area for them to store wood. That's pretty cool. So let's just resume the game and see what happens. Huh. Actually nothing. So probably we didn't have any wood. Or why aren't they chopping down these fucking trees? Well, that is because you need to designate areas for them to do that. That's pretty good because otherwise they would just hang around in the fucking woods and play some Robin Hood, and then they're gonna get stomped by random animals and all that stuff, and you don't want that. So what you're gonna do is you designate an area to do something in there. You can do that by hitting D for designations, which is up here, and then you're gonna tell them to chop down trees, which is T. Okay, lower caps T. And then we're going to do the same as before, but now we do it with a fairly larger zone. I hit enter. I go down and then hit enter again, and then all these marked trees are being chopped down. You can do the same for these plants by hitting P, gather plants in a certain area, and I just tell them from here to here you can gather all the plants that you find. Okay, so what's going to happen right now, I hit escape, space for resume. They're going to chop down the trees and gather the plants. The blinking trees and the blinking plants are the ones that they're going to do next, right? I mean, they're not doing them in terms of doing, you know what I mean. And you see, someone is carrying some wood here already. This guy here has wood in his hands, you see it. So we go one level down, and then he should come down this hill here and just drop it here. Okay, space for resume. There you go. It's being stored there. That's good. There we go. It fills up. All right, that's good. So they're gonna go on and just chop wood and just put it there. It's pretty cool, but right now I'm not really the guy for the sun and birds and all that green crap that's flying out there. I just want to go into the mountain and just make a very badass dwarven fortress. Okay, how you do that is you designate an area again with D here. You designate an area to be mined out of the hill. So I hit D again for mine, which is the most used function that you will ever use in this game. And then you're going to do exactly the same again. So I see that here the elevation of the terrain is going up. So basically if I dig here in, it's going to create a tunnel into the mountain. And they start to dig. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's good, that's good. Oh yeah, they're going in. So if I go one level up, you see that we are under the ground right now. So I'm going to designate some more. I'm just going to tell them, you know, just dig a little down here. And maybe make a room here. You know, just hit always enter twice to designate these areas. It's really easy. So okay, that's it. And please dig it. Thank you. So they're digging out now all the area that I told them to do, and if I designate an area that they cannot reach, it's just simply going to stay there and nothing is happening. All right, so you see that they're still gathering the plants up here, they're cutting down the trees and everything, and what you can also see is here that these are gathered roots and sometimes strawberries, and oh, there it is, wild strawberries and hide roots and whatever. They are just they leave the stuff there because they don't have a place to drop it somewhere. Okay, this is food, so we're going to designate an area just for food, so they just get all the stuff down there in front of our fort. Okay, so I'm going to P for stockpile, and then for F like food. Then just going to create an area here, and then just going to hit escape, and then they should bring down everything. There you go. That's all the food that we brought with us. That's the food that they just harvested from the plants. That's good. So what you can see here as well is here we have some water pools here as well. And if I go into the mining menu, like D for designation and mine, as I did before, they start to blink, these walls. These walls blink because if you are going to tear those walls down, you're going to have a water problem in your dungeon. Alright? It's not going to be a big problem because these are just small lakes and you can more or less assume how much stuff they will flood in your fortress. It's pretty intuitive. But when it comes down to this, to the river, you start to have a problem. If a river breaks into your fortress, you can basically have you're going to have a lot of fun with your fortress, and because the source of the river is infinite, it will never run dry. There will always be unlimited water flowing through a river. You cannot run it dry, and you cannot do other fancy stuff with it. It's just an unlimited source of water. Okay, so I'm just gonna let them dig. So the first room is done. You can see that. What I want to do right now is I want to manufacture some beds for my dwarves to sleep in because I need to get these dwarves into the fortress as fast as possible. So I'm going to access the building menu, which is B for building, and then if I scroll down, and now I have to use the num block on your keyboard. So for those that are just right now on a laptop without any, sorry, you can just close the game. You just go down with plus until you see workshops. There, here they are. Okay, hit enter, and then you go to the carpenter's workshop because we want to make some beds and all that stuff. If you know the hotkeys for that, it's just going to be very fast. It's just B for building, W for workshop, C for carpenter's workshop. Okay, you hit enter, and then you have a building plan. This is pretty self-explaining. Obviously I cannot build in the walls and whatever, and I'm just gonna build here a carpenter's workshop. Don't build it like this because you never know where you can pass in these workshops. They have some items that are blocking the movement. Plus you need to sometimes wall in your workshops for a reason that I will explain in another episode. Okay, so I hit enter when the carpenter's workshop blueprint is okay, and you see that I can use now different materials. I could use chestnut logs, oak logs, ash logs, alder logs, maple logs, birch logs, or I don't care logs. I just take anything. I don't care. I don't know what this is, so I just press enter. Okay, so this is the carpenter's workshop. It will be built out of the material that I said, and I'm just going to hit escape, so I can see what's being done now. So someone should come, take a piece of wood, drop it at the carpenter's workshop, and someone else should build it as well. There he is. It's probably the carpenter. Yes, he is. There you go. It's finished. Carpenter's workshop is finished. What I can do now is I can tell the carpenter workshop to do certain things for me, like creating tables, creating beds, creating doors, creating funny sex toys, whatever. So I'm just going to press Q for building tasks and preferences, and it's for all the building the same. So for all the buildings, this is always the same. You just press Q, and then you see right now it's over my stockpile. I could change the settings of my stockpile, which is not really interesting. I'm going over my carpenter's workshop until it's blinking green. I can add tasks now to the carpenter's workshop. By pressing A, I can scroll through this list with plus and minus, and I'm telling him to construct some beds for me, and I want actually 6 beds. So I hit enter, add a new task, enter, because the cursor is going to stay where it is. A, add a new task, enter, add a new task, enter, A for add a new task, enter. Okay, till I have 6 beds. If I want to make this task infinite, so he's just going to create till he runs out of wood, then I can just go over one of these tasks with plus and minus, you see that, and just hit R for repeat, and he's just going to do it until it runs out. We don't want to do that right now. We just need 6 beds. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. Good. I hit escape, space for resume, and there we go. Game runs. Now, one of the carpenters, or our carpenter, I think we have one, should come now, grab a piece of wood, and just start to create a bed. There he is. He starts to do the stuff. Right now, we have another problem. Okay, he's going to create a piece of furniture, but we don't have a stockpile for the furniture right now. So we do exactly the same thing as before. We press P for stockpile, then U for furniture storage, and designate this room here as a furniture storage, because I want to get all the stuff that's just standing in the rain or whatever on the outside in here, plus the stuff that he's going to create. So I just created the whole area for being a storage for furniture. Escape, space, and there we go. So as soon as he has created this stuff, oh, look here, they're coming in with anvils and bags and everything. They're just gonna store everything in here. Oh, that's good. Good. I'm just gonna create some more rooms here so you can see what I'm doing actually. I just mined some stuff here and I'm just making some doors. As you can see here, I press K for viewing. There is already an oaken bed in here and an ashen bed, so this guy made actually some beds. What I need to do now is I need to place these beds so my dwarfs have a place to sleep, right? So I just gonna let my dwarfs mine this stuff out. As you can see, the miners here, they're just drinking. They're gonna do that, they're gonna drink and they're gonna sleep from time to time. And as soon as I make them do that stuff inside of the fortress, it's much more safe. Okay, so it's gonna finish the room. There we go. And now I'm gonna go to the B for building again. I need to build now a bed. I have built a bed, like I created one in the workshop, and now it's in the furniture storage, right? It's here. But I need to build it now into the dungeon with B. Okay? Building and then bed. You need to create every single piece again. You just have to place it. First you have to create it, and then it's going to be moved into a stockpile, and from that stockpile you have to build it. Okay. I'm going for B for bed. And then you see my green cursor is here again. My lovely green cursor. I'm going to place the bed here. I hit enter. And then I can choose which one of these beds I want. I don't give a flying fuck. Actually, I just do the same again. Please place these beds. Enter, enter, enter. Okay, and now I want to place another one, but it says needs bed. So my cursor is gone because there is no bed available aside from the 4 that I already have. So the dwarfs will come now, grab these 4 beds and just put them here. Let's see whether I'm right. There comes the A team. And they're going to create them. Alright. So the beds are placed. They're ready to go. What I can do now is I can tell all the dwarfs, hey, if you're sleepy, you can just sleep in here because this is a dormitory. Everybody can come in and just sleep. I do this exactly the same way as I told orders to the workshop. I just press Q, and then I'm going to go down to my beds, and then you can see there's R for make bedroom. I press R, and then I see a size of a room. I can press plus. That's going to be the size of the room where I consider this to be a room, right? Right now it's going to be a little bit of the outside of the doors because there's an open space, so I just keep it this size. That's okay. And then hit enter. So everything in this area is now a dormitory. If I just press D again for dormitory, because it says right now here dormitory no, barracks no. If I press D, it says dormitory yes. And then I press escape. And they are on it again. So as soon as a dwarf now feels tired, he will come here and just sleep there. So it's not just beds that I need. Right now I need some tables and I need some chairs. So I add a new task. I'm going T for table and another table. I just take 4 tables. And then I'm going to add a new task for C for chair. I'm going to create 4 chairs. Hit escape. and then he does it. Okay, you always assign tasks and you always change properties of something with Q. So if you wonder how I got into this menu, I just wandered over it with Q, hit A for add a new task, and then just the first letter of the stuff that I wanted to create. While he's doing that, we just let him create all this stuff. We're going up 2 levels or 1 level, and you see that the whole area here that we designated before for chopping down is just pretty much empty. That's because he did his job basically. So we're gonna assign just a new area for them to chop down some trees with D for designations and T for chop down trees, so we don't run out of wood. I designate this area here for chopping down, and they do the same for the plants. Gather plants. This is not that important, but it's always helpful to gather these plants, so I just do it all the time as well. It's gonna keep you alive a little longer without any food production. And there we go. You can see the first table just came out here. What's the table from this here? Okay. And 2 more tables, and then he's going to create some chairs, and then we see how I build a dining room, which is basically the same as the dormitory, just for eating, where every dwarf can go. It's not assigned to a single dwarf, it's just for every dwarf, so they can eat in the same place. So at some point some migrants will arrive, and your fortress is getting bigger, and your dwarves want to meet in some areas when they don't have anything to do. Right now, that's the case in the in this cart, right? In your starting cart. They're just hanging around out there because this is actually their meeting area. And unless you define a new one, they will keep hanging on around there, which is absolutely not needed because we want them to hang out in here and have a party in here. So I'm going to press B again for building because I want to place all these tables and this chair. And then I'm going to press T for table, and then they're on my cursor again. Hit enter. T again for table. Hit enter. Enter. T again for the table, and I placed these 4 tables. And then I'm going to place a chair. C for the chair. We always have to be in the building menu for this, obviously. So if you don't drop out, you can just hit T, enter, C, enter, and whatever. Okay. Chair, enter. Okay, there you go. Now they're grayed out because they have to create them, and here they come. The A team, the creating A team is coming, and they're placing all the stuff. Very good. Okay, so we have a chair and some tables. Cool. Now I go to Q again. I hover with my X over the tables, and now I create a dining room with R. I just leave the size of this, that's okay, I don't really care. And then I say H for meeting hall, yes, hit escape, and there you go. So every new dwarf that will come onto this map, everybody who does not have anything to do, who's not tired, who's not drinking, just because he's thirsty or whatever, will come here and hang out here in this place. Some dwarves are even eating here, so this is a good place now to hang out for them because it's inside, it's safe. What I'm doing right now is I'm going upwards 1 level to our cart, and you see there is no one here anymore. There's no one hanging out here anymore. So what I do is I mark the cart for deconstruction because I don't need it anymore. I go to Q, it's again, and then I'm going over until it flashes green, and then I could just say remove building. Then you see the wagon is slated for removal, and that needs carpentry, whatever. Okay, I hit escape, and they're just going to deconstruct the cart and put all the stuff in my dungeon. So what I want to do now is I don't feel safe with all this stuff outside and this wood laying out here outside, because the carpenter always has to go out here, and it's going to be dangerous in the outside. Not right now, but later on it will be dangerous, so I just want to get the stuff inside. What I'm doing right now is I create another stockpile with P, W for wood. Just going to create it here. and then hit escape, and then I'm going to remove this stockpile here by going into stockpiles again with P, and then X for remove designation. You can remove multiple stockpiles with this. You don't have to remove a wooden stockpile or something. You can remove any designation you want to. Okay, so I hit X for remove designation. I go over here and mark everything, and the designation is gone. So this wood is now ready to be taken down into my new location that I have. There you go, it comes down. They're gonna store the wood all there. Okay, that has been a little bit tedious so far, but now comes something that I thought was really, really, really cool. One of the reasons why where I grasped that this game could be really, really fun actually. And you should definitely hang in here to see that. What we're going to do now is we make a farm field. Boohoo, yeah, well, wow, farm field, how exciting. Right. But it's actually pretty cool because we have to water this farm field somehow, and because the ground down here is just dry. It's not irrigated. We cannot plant, we cannot do anything on here. So what we do is we press D for designation. We mine out an area that is next to this water here. Okay, about this size, whatever, you know. It's okay. Hit escape and let our dwarves do it. They're just gonna dig out the whole area, and once they do that, what we are doing is we are opening a tunnel up to this water here, so the water flows out in here. The physics of the water are pretty good for a 2D game, and this is what's going to happen basically. So the water will flatten out here and just flood probably the whole room here. I'm not quite sure whether it does, but it should be enough. Because you see, when I go down here and then I go one level up, you see it is still here, right? You can see the water here. So that means it's 2 levels high, and all the water that's in here will flow here, drain from up here, and then just float the room. And as soon as it has dried out, the soil is irrigated, and I can use it for different stuff, which is pretty cool. I don't know why I find that cool, but it's just it's pretty cool. Yeah, whatever. What I'm doing is I hit D for mine, and I just mine out the channel here, and hope that the dwarf is fast enough in escaping. There you go, he opened it, and the water flows in. Ah, isn't that beautiful? I just love it. If we go up one level, you see that the water is draining out here. You see it with the gray blitzing here. Just gonna go down. It's gonna fill up our whole room probably. If you hit K, you can see here the depth of the water. It's actually 1/7. 7 is the maximum. That's a full square of it's a full cubic of water, and 1/7 is not really much. I think 1, 2, 3 or something they can walk through, and the rest is just too deep. I'm not quite sure about this. Maybe you have to read it up. But your dwarves can drown, but they will not drown here because the water is not really deep. So there you go. Okay, we're just gonna let that run a little bit, and I'm going to create another room here on the left side where I can bring all my food in. That's actually a little bit too big. I don't need that much. Okay, as you can see, the water is starting to sicker into the ground, and since the water physics are correct, when it starts to rain, it will rain into these holes here and fill up the whole pool here. So I want to close this gap here pretty soon, so the rain is not really pouring up in there and just flood my cave all around. And it's also a good idea to close this down so no one can actually go in here and enter my fort through an entrance that I don't want it to. Because there are monsters that can swim, there are other stuff that can come in there. For instance, some stupid goblins on their crocodiles, but they will drown eventually, which is funny enough. The crocodiles will survive though, but that can happen. As you can see now, it's drying up, and there is little red soil left. And if I go over it and see what it does is it says a muddy loam sand cavern floor. And contrary to a loamy sand cavern floor, it's muddy now. Mud is irrigated soil, so that means that any farm plot that I build up there is going to yield good results, and it's going to do very good. So what I'm doing right now is I wall in, I wall off this little lake so I don't get invaded and there's nothing coming in that I don't want to. And for that I go into the building menu. I go downwards, all the way downwards, and hit capital C for wall, floors and stairs. Hit enter. Go to the wall, enter, and just place one wall here. I use any material, escape, escape, and then they should come with a, there you go. I'm just going to create a wall and wall it off. Good. So, no coming in there. Good. Since this is drying up, I can already build over it because it's just not gonna, it's not much water. I hit P for building and then P for farm plot, which is down here. I use a farm plot. Okay, and now I'm going to widen the farm plot with the letters UMKH. Okay, I use K for making it broader, and U for making it higher. Okay, you are going to need just one of these farm plots for around 150 people or something. I'm not quite sure about this, but I never needed more actually. I had more than enough food, and you don't really need to worry about food once you have one of these. Oh, as you see, it's already built. The farmer is up there and waiting. He's here building the farm plot actually, and when he's finished, we are going to tell him what to do on this farm plot. There you go. It's finished. We go to Q, which is building preferences, and then you see there is here we can tell them what to do each season. So with plus and minus, you can select different stuff. With A, B, C, D, you just select the seasons. I'm going to select A for spring, and then I hit enter on the plump helmets. Plump helmets are just something that grows underground. Very good. You should have some in the starter package, and it's going to grow every season. If you hit B for summer, you go to plump helmets, hit enter. You go to C, autumn, plump helmets. D, winter, plump helmets. We need plump helmets all the way the whole fucking year. They're just great. They're gonna keep your dwarfs happy, and they're just not gonna starve to death. Okay, escape, escape, and that was it. All right. So, in order for your farmer now to grow these plump helmets, he's just gonna take some seeds. You see that? He's gonna take these seeds here and put them here on the fields and starts to grow the stuff. All he has to do afterwards is, after the stuff has grown, after a season or whatever, he's going to put this stuff into a barrel, into a wooden barrel, and just so you can stash it away in any food stockpile that you want to have. That brings me to the second thing. I'm going to create another food stash, which is done by hitting P, food for F, and then I'm just going to mark this as a food stash, hit enter. There we go, we have another food stash, and I'm going to delete the other food stash that I have on the outside with X, right? I'm in the stockpile menu and I hit X for remove designation. I hit enter and just remove everything here. So this should haul everything from here now back to here. So we have almost everything now inside of the fort. Alright, as you can see, they started already growing the plump helmets. That's okay. And I need barrels for this stuff, right? I need barrels for them to store the food in there. So, as you already figured, the carpenter has barrels. You can never have enough barrels in your fucking dungeon, because if you run out of barrels, you're going to start to have a problem. You don't want your dwarves to starve or die just because you don't have a barrel to store your drinks or your food in. That's that's a really sad part of the game, but just make sure that you have enough barrels. So right now I hit A for add new task. I go down to barrel, make a wooden barrel, hit enter, and I'm just going to create a couple of them. And the only thing that we need right now as well is we need someone that makes drinks for them. So I'm going to create a little side room here. The layout is not really good right now because you want to probably have the stuff far more underground, but for showing purposes it's perfect, and you can try this out in a very short manner because you don't have to worry about elevation and all that stuff. Okay, so I have dug out this little room, and I'm going to for B, building. I'm going to for W for workshop. I scroll down until I find the still. The still is going to create drinks, actually alcohol, for our dwarfs. This is actually really important because dwarves don't drink water. They drink water if they are really, like, yeah, in a bad mood, whatever. But normally they just want to drink alcohol and nothing else. So I'm just going to place the still here. What the still needs is it needs a barrel, and it needs plump helmets to brew the stuff. You can brew other stuff as well, but right now it's going to be okay if you just brew some beer out of the plump helmets that we're just making here. So I'm going for Q, go down to the still, add a new task, brew drink, which is B, and then I'm going to hit R for repeat. So the guy will just continuously now brew drinks until he runs out of barrels or plump helmets. Okay, escape. And what he's going to do is he's going to produce some ale and just hit the he's just going to store the barrel full of ale in the storage in here, because this is the food storage. There's a barrel up here as well in the furniture storage, but this means that they are empty and these are just full because they're counting as food now here. Okay, so this is going to get you started. This is the first part of the tutorial. I hope you liked it. And we're going to look into the second part, where I will cover how to dig down, how to get some ores out of the ground, and some other maintenance stuff that you want to know in your dwarven fortress. And then the fun hopefully starts, besides you have to navigate through all these menus. But hang in there, it's really worth it, and it's a really cool game. So I catch you